Okay, guys, picture this. I pull into the parking of this mountain retreat that I'm going to. My bags are in the back. I've got treats on the side. I got this playlist all lined up for a little bit later. And I start reading the fine print in my retreat instructions, and it says, no cell signal, no Wi-Fi. Wait, what? My stomach drops. And then my brain starts bargaining. It's like, how am I supposed to run my business? How am I supposed to get hold of my kids? And how am I going to post a story? What am I going to do? I even was holding my phone up in the air like a divining rod, like, oh, just one more little bar. But there was nothing. Nothing. It was now 3 whole days. No data, no cell signal. I was digitally stranded. There was no pings, there's no scrolls, there's no just checking notifications. And honestly, I thought I was going to combust by day 2. But here's the twist. By day 3, I didn't want the signal back. The first few hours were tough. My thumbs kept twitching with this phantom scroll, and my brain was like aching for that dopamine. I had realized I had trained myself just like Pavlov's dog to chase every ping, every ding, every notification I didn't even know was set on my phone. For the first time, it's like, wait, what? There aren't all these little noises in my head constantly? But something happened in the silence. My breathing slowed down. I started noticing things like the sound of the bugs. I started feeling the warmth of the sun. I started tasting my food in a different way. And my thoughts expanded. That silence started to feel like, well, like medicine. And you know what? The science backs it up. So, what happens in your brain when you unplug? So, every ping your phone makes, the text, the likes, the alerts, it triggers your dopamine reward center. That's that same circuit that's involved in cravings and addiction and in motivation. And constant notifications keeps your brain in this loop of seek, find, repeat, seek, find, repeat, seek, find, repeat. And the more we get that, the more, just like an addiction, we have to have more of it to be able to have the satisfaction that that dopamine brought. So when you remove that loop and take that down, your dopamine receptors reset. You stop chasing these little micro rewards and you start noticing the real ones like connection and creativity and, well, honestly, peace. Your prefrontal cortex, that's the part that does the focusing and the decision making. It gets a chance to reboot. You're literally reclaiming the RAM that's been hijacked by notifications, and something beautiful happens. Your default mode network. Now, this is the part of the brain that lights up when you daydream or when you imagine. It all of a sudden comes online. That's where creativity and reflection and intuition live. And that's why you get your best ideas when you're walking or when you're showering or when you're looking at the clouds. Your brain finally has a chance to play. So now what happens to your body? Within a day, your body starts to exhale because cortisol, that stress hormone, begins to drop. Studies show that just even hearing notifications spikes that cortisol, even if you don't even check your phone. So silence isn't empty, it's actually healing. And without screens, your melatonin, that's your sleep hormone, finally gets the memo that, oh, it's nighttime. The blue light from our phones delays it by hours, but when you're by candlelight or soft light or campfire light, you see the darkness and the stars. It resets your circadian rhythm. And your eyes and your posture, they rejoice too. The eye strain and the headaches and the text neck all begin to fade. By day 3, you stand taller, you breathe deeper, and your body becomes unhooked from all of those invisible cords. Your body begins to feel what your phone can't give you, and that's peace. So, what happens to your psyche? Something shifts emotionally too. At first, I felt FOMO, of fear that I was missing out on something important. And then I felt JOMO, the joy of missing out. My thoughts got quieter, my emotions got more even, and I felt more like me. Psychologists call that attentional restoration. That's when your mental muscles, they recharge, the brain repairs itself when you're in natural elements without that constant ping. Psychologists even found that even if it's a brief digital detox, like one weekend off. It can boost your mood, decrease anxiety, and it can restore optimism. Okay, I don't even know of a medicine that could do that. So when you stop living in reaction mode, responding to every single ping that you hear, every notification, you suddenly remember what it feels like to just respond to life. So when I came home, I thought, how do I bring this home with me without having to drive out to the woods every single weekend? So that's when I created the 48-hour unplug sprint. There's 2 levels of digital rest that you can start right now. So if you really love your brain, you give yourself this gift. So this is how you can recreate that magic at home. There's 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. So let me explain what they are. And as you're listening at it, think, ooh, I could step into this one or I could step into this one. Level 1, this is the brain challenge. This one you have structured pockets of freedom. So this is for anyone who needs to stay connected but really wants their mind back. So here's how to set yourself up to succeed. Prior to the unplug, you're going to write your schedule on a piece of paper. There is no digital planner, just pen and paper and simplicity. If you go into your phone, there's so many rabbit holes that can suck you under that you won't succeed at really detaching for just this brief moment in time, realizing that this is not forever, but you want to have that experience of seeing what does it do and how do I respond to this? Keep only the notifications you absolutely have to have. Turn off all the rest of them because they're just renting space in your nervous system. And if you have a watch that's attached to your phone, take that thing off your wrist. Now, this is how your rest is going to happen. Plan at least 3 or more phone-free pockets during the day. So these would be like 45 minutes to 60 minutes a day. So I would suggest maybe your morning time, airplane mode for an hour, right? That you get up. A lot of you have morning routines that you do. Just resist even picking up that phone. Another time would be nighttime before you go to bed, an hour before bed. And then in between could be either your work time or study time when it's like, okay, this is phone free time. I am concentrating here. Now, it could be more different times and you do what works for you, but plan those times. But you're also then going to have some check windows. So twice a day for those essentials. So 15-minute times when, okay, I'm going to check my phone here and respond here, and I'm going to check my phone here. Now, the third thing you're going to do is you're going to walk for at least 10 to 15 minutes without your phone. No podcast, no music, just you and the ambient life. That's when the best ideas come up. And just re-emphasizing no screens 1 hour before you go to bed. And plug it in to recharge at night in another room. We don't realize that plugged in, this is emitting an electrical frequency that isn't always good for our brain. And I don't know about you guys, but I only have it maybe 2 or 3 feet away from me. The best thing we can do is put it in another room. And then when it does go off the alarm, we have to get up and respond. It's actually a good way to get us out of bed. But we'll train our brains to really want that calm instead of chaos that happens. I kind of call this, it's like moving into dopamine discipline. Do you have any love? Do you love the sound of that? Okay, so that's just the level 1. Level 2, this is a full detox challenge. This is a true 48-hour reset. For those ready to go all in to really give your brain that space to reboot, this is powered down every single device for 48 hours. Yes, you can let your family and friends know in advance that you're not responding. So maybe there's an emergency contact person that can, within walking distance or whatever, that can come get you in case there's an emergency. But 2 days where there's no social media, no texts, no emails, except for emergencies, and use paper for journaling, reflection, creativity. Capture what you're feeling during this. Then spend at least 1 hour outside daily. Now, really look around as you're walking. Look to the right, to the left, up and down to notice things you have never noticed before because we've quite frankly been distracted. It's hard for our brain to notice things when it's actually computing or hearing information. Really getting to the sense of this. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you touch? What do you feel? Feel things. Get in touch with Mother Nature. Look down, look up, look around. What have we been missing in life? You know, there are messages all around us in nature. I know that sounds crazy, but there are messages, and there may be a message out there for you. And the only way you're going to see it or be aware of it is if you're not attached to technology. So you're going to replace the scrolling for silence. This will be time for like meditations, prayers, stretching, breath work, reading a book, not reading digitally, a paper book. But this is really going to be a chance of a time for being. And I didn't say that you couldn't accomplish anything, but you just do what you can without technology. Now, the first day might feel restless, but by the second day, it's like your nervous system is going to inhale and exhale, and your mind is going to simply start to grow. So be prepared for new thoughts, for original thoughts, for clarity, and honestly, for some daydreaming to come through. You can set an intention of while you're in this and you step away from the noise of the world, this is what you want to have. Or you can just release and observe and be in a state of calm and be present and reset and restore. Now, whether you're going to do level 1 or level 2, and I hope you're going to do this, whatever level you pick, at night, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. The first one, what did I learn about myself and my relationship with my phone today? The second is, what did I feel when I reached for it and I resisted? And then the third question, if I really love my brain, I want more of this, whatever this is. So what surprised me most about my relationship with my phone? How did I feel when I reached for my phone and I resisted? And if I really love my brain, I want more of this. So at the end of my retreat, I was journaling instead of scrolling. I was looking into faces instead of feeds. And I slept like a rock. And when I finally did get some bars that like flickered back to life, I didn't cheer because I realized how loud the world had been and how deeply I needed the peace. Unplugging really isn't about losing connection. It's about finding it again, but connection with nature, with the universe, with ourselves, with others. So here's your challenge. Choose your 48 hour. Is it the pockets of stillness or is it the full out silence? If you're a teenager, challenge your friends to participate with you. Which level are you going to choose? And if you're a family, how can you make this fun, something that you do together? Make this an incredible learning experience. What will you discover? And I promise you, this is something worth trying and maybe even repeating fairly often. Because sometimes the strongest signal you'll ever get is the one that comes when you go offline. That was an incredible experience for me, my friends. I hope you'll take my invitation. This is Rozanne Marsh. Hope to see you next week. Namaste.